Big O. It's still a nation, man. Yeah. Big Sid. Big O. You know what it is, man. It's still a nation, man. Big O. Big Sid. Big O. Every night on Monday night, man. Hey. 7 to 8 on Monday night. Big O. Big Sid. And it's a song. And it's still a nation. Big Sid. Big O. Big Sid. Big O. Still a nation. Big Sid. Big O. Big Sid. Big O. Still a nation, man. Yeah. It's a song. Big O. Yeah, I had to say it was a song, man. You know, it is a song, man. Yeah. Big Sid. Big O. Big Sid. Big O. Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another edition of Still a Nation Live. Big Tiz.
Big O.
Hey guys, we were here. We're supposed to be here on Tuesday to see you guys, but you know, we had a lot of things that happened Tuesday. And you know what? I'm going to let my boy Big O describe what happened here on Still a Nation Live.
All right, folks. Unless you live in a cave or under a rock, we all know what happened over the past weekend. Hurricane Sandy came through, and she came in with a vengeance. And not only did she affect everybody from Florida up the eastern seaboard, it hit us in Rochester. And we know by looking at, footage from the Weather Channel and everything else, local weather, that it went through Pennsylvania as well. And destruction, devastation across the whole eastern seaboard. We've never seen nothing like it. And me, Big Tiz, want to, our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts go out to the families. This is horrible.
Oh yeah, a lot of families were affected, and I mean, New York City is still trying to recover from this. What happened the other day? I mean, it's amazing to see these things. I mean, if you look at some of the pictures that we're putting up there, as you can see how big this Hurricane Sandy was, and it affected a lot of people, a lot of things down, and a lot of businesses still closed. A lot of looting is going on in New York. So I mean, there are a lot of things that have been hit bad here, and you know what? Big Tiz and Big O, we've been affected. We got heavy rains and things like that, a lot of flooding, so that was one of the reasons why we couldn't do the show. But you know what? Just like we always promise, we're here to provide you with straight stealing news. Big Tiz and Big O.
That's right. The Tisdale Mansion was underwater, and we took care of that. Big Tiz took care of that. Insurance took care of that. And here we are, taking our time out, away from our families for a little bit because, this is important stuff that we need to get out to local area Steeler fans, as well as Steeler fans across the nation who are watching our show live tonight at www.steelernationlive.net. You can also call in 1-724-444-7444.
There you go.
Call us up, text us a message, let us know what's going on. If you were part of this, if you came out alive, everything's okay with your family, if there's anything you want to let us know, we want you to know that we're thinking about you, and not just the Steelers, the team, but all the families of Steeler Nation that was affected by this storm. We just want to let you know that we're thinking about you. Our thoughts and prayers are going out to you.
Exactly. And on this show, like I said, just like always, we're going to bring it to you guys hard. A lot of things. Hey, one thing, let's start off the show on a good note. Steelers, a win, unbelievable, a win against Washington Redskins, which I thought they would have some issues, especially with the scrambling ability of RG3. RG3 has always been a danger for a lot of teams, and actually in the NFC East, we played the whole squad this year. So, we already took down Philly, we took down Washington. Let's keep it rolling with the Giants coming up this weekend.
That's what I'm talking about, Big Tiz. And a lot of people still talking about the Steeler defense, old, slow. But we're going to get into the stats of how we contained and detained RG3 and the Washington Redskins offense. We'll talk about that later in the show with the stats. But I don't want to give a shout-out to those San Francisco Giants, not the 49ers. Congratulations to the Giants for winning the World Series, swept the Detroit Tigers. And I'm happy for that because they beat my Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of Steeler fans out there, I know from Facebook, you were just as upset as I was when the Yankees fell to the Tigers, and I know you were pushing for the Giants too. But congratulations goes out to the Giants for their World Series win.
Yeah, actually, you know what? baseball is over, football is in full swing because pretty soon the playoffs will be coming, and the Steelers they're trying to round the corner right now. I mean the defense look like they're trying to get it together, and the offense, like I said, the blocking the last couple of weeks, unbelievable. I'm sitting here telling you guys on SteelerNationLive.net the blocking was amazing this week.
That's right. Here's one guy I'm very, very impressed with. As you know, if you've been following the show from the beginning of the season, I was not too happy with this guy. Cologne, he's stepped up huge, and he's still doing a great job. He's healthy. He's cutting back on the penalties, the holdings. He's been blocking. He's been stunting. He's been doing a lot to save Ben. And I tell you, the left side of that line, that's Ben's blind side. You have to protect the blind side, and he's been doing a real great job as well as the other members of the offensive line. Legursky coming in huge when Pouncey was down. Pouncey, he's a beast. He's been back. He's still healthy, thank God. And he's been doing unbelievable job.
Exactly,
unbelievable job.
Exactly.
He reminds me of Dermontti Dawson.
Oh, yeah.
The way he pulls and the way he stunts, unbelievable. I want a Pouncey jersey, but I got my DeCastro jersey instead.
Well, you know what? Before we go any further, I want to put that picture back up there of Willie Colon, and I just want to let people know what happened with Willie Colon during the week, I guess, when we played the
Bengals.
The Bengals.
Yeah.
There were a lot of dirty, cheap shots that were going on in this game, and unbelievably, Mr. Colon's hair, this guy wears long dreads. I don't know if you've ever seen him before, but he wears long dreads, and he said under the pile, while with his dreads, he said he had 3 to 4, maybe big patches ripped from his scalp. Unbelievable. I mean, the Bengals are scalping people. What's going on?
That's disgusting. Men pulling hair? Come on, guys. Let's get real here.
You Bengal fans out there, come on now. You can't take a little butt whooping that you got to start pulling hair like. Let's go on.
All right, yeah, we won't want. We do not want to dwell on that. But like I said before the Bengals game, that this is our chance to take over the division. And you know what, Tiz? We're starting to do it. And let's start with some news around the NFL,
Exactly.
Big Tiz. And we're gonna start off with the trade deadline was this Tuesday. Now there's a lot of with the hurricane going on, postponed to Thursday night tonight. I'm pretty sure it's midnight is the deadline, and there are a lot of trade rumors going around, a lot of them, too many to mention. And at this point, do we know if these rumors are even true? But one of the big rumors is Tim Tebow going to Jacksonville. True story. This is what I heard. We don't want to waste our time. No Steelers have been involved in any talks of being traded or whatever, but one of the Steelers was released today or yesterday, and I'll talk about that later on in the show. But what's to start off, the NFL news that's going around in NFL news, if you all watch the Steelers game, Redskins game, D'Angelo Hall, well-respected, tough cornerback for the Washington Redskins, was ejected. And we all know why. And this is going to lead up to our hot topic later on in the show. We like to do this. We like to talk about something and then bring it in later on the show and get it together so it's not just like, all right, here's what we're talking about and that's it. We want to blend this show with as much information as we can. And we'll get back to the hot topic. And we discussed the hot topic before about the referees, the coaches, when is when enough. And I guess Sunday was enough. What had happened was, during a play, Sanders, wide receiver, and Hall were in a tussle away from the play. They got up. Roethlisberger kind of broke them up, and that was pretty much it. Unfortunately, Mr. Hall didn't think that was it. He took off his helmet, which is automatic penalty, and he began to yell obscenities at the referee. And if you watch the replay, you can go to YouTube. We might have it on our website later, and you can read his lips. Right now, I think that they're blocking it out because you can actually see what he's saying.
Right.
And it's getting to a point where that even the coach Shanahan was yelling at a referee up and down, and at one point the referee turned, and you could even hear it while you're watching the game. He told him, get in the box or you're getting a penalty. And this is why we have to stop. You have to jump in, and we can't let these guys yell at these officials anymore. It's it's bad for the game. It's bad for the league. Like we talked about earlier on previous shows, that you do this in baseball, you're gone. You're thrown out. You can't yell at officials, but we're going to talk about that later in the show, the hot topic. And believe it or not, he has a defense. He's trying to say that, you know what, only the camera angles show him yelling and screaming at the referee. They don't show the referee yelling obscenities at him. This is what he claims. All right? You know, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? These are respected officials. I highly doubt that he's going to be swearing at this guy, having a verbal altercation on the field. I highly doubt it. But we don't know all the evidence. We'll give him that much. Also, we know he's full of it. He tried to say to the NFL that that Sanders ripped his helmet off. It was halfway off anyways. That's why he took it off to adjust it. And that there was a timeout called. So if there's a timeout called, you can take your helmet off. But I don't know where or when he would have heard a timeout call because he was too busy dropping F-bombs and yelling at the referee.
Exactly.
But if you look at the video, you be your own judge, folks. We're not trying to say you're stupid, but if you go to YouTube, you look at this video, you can clearly see that Sanders didn't pull his helmet off, not even halfway, and this guy's full of it. But, you know, let's move on to the next criminal. We all know Dez Bryant, and we talked about this guy before in the show when he was arrested not too long ago for beating up his mother. And what had happened was that the Dallas County District Attorney feels that, you know, this case against Dez Bryant should not be dropped. And speaking of dropped, if you notice his hand, if you're looking at this home, we got one of those photo shots. I got to throw this in there.
Yep. So you guys, if you're on the audio side, you can't hear. We got a video of, actually not a video, but a picture of him with his putting his hand down in that Giant game when he's touching the back end of the end zone and coming up a little short. Oh baby.
Oh boy. But here's the picture we want to show. Dez Bryant, where he actually must have Romo must have handed it off to him because he can't catch. He's carrying the football right now. But the Dallas County District Attorney, what's his name? I can't remember. But he wants to go through with this case. And well, with all the money that Dez Bryant has, he know who his attorney is? Dez Bryant's attorney is a former Texas Senator, Royce West, who claims that the DA has no case against him. Well, we all know that, you know, domestic violence happens everywhere, and it's unfortunate that this happens. And a lot of times that the victims don't want to press charges against their aggressor.
Right.
And we see it all the time. And in some laws, you know, some states, some cities, they let this go. But in this case, in the Dallas County DA does not want to let this rest. And more to follow later on that. So, we all know what time it is, folks. It's time for the scores. The NFL scores from around the league.
A lot of good games, guys.
A lot of good games, and we're going to whiz right through this. Tiz hooked us up with this cool picture right here. Don't get. Oh, I'm getting dizzy, Tiz. I'm looking at it. Oh boy! But here we go. Last Thursday night, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 36, the Minnesota Vikings 17, and we all know our beloved Steelers 27, Redskins 12. Should have been 34, but we'll talk about that later. Dolphins 30, Jets 9. Woo! What's going on in New York? Patriots win one across the pond. Wasn't even close in his blowout. Brady throws for a couple touchdowns, 45-7 over the Rams. The Bears' last-second field goal defeats the Panthers 23-22. The Lions edge out the Seahawks 28-24, and that's Johnny B's fantasy team. We'll talk to him later in the show. Packers 24, Jaguars 15, Browns 7, Chargers 6.
Oh, my God.
And just a little side note on that, the Browns scored late in the first quarter, so you know this must have been one of those great, exciting games in Cleveland. The Colts win one in overtime over the Titans, 19-13. The Falcons remain unbeaten with a 30-17 win over the Eagles, and we're having a quarterback controversy there in Philadelphia. Should Vic be the starter? Reed says yes. The fans say no. Broncos 34, Saints 14, and the New York Football Giants, and replay does help, defeat the Cowboys in Dallas 29-24. And on Monday Night Football, the 49ers beat the Cardinals 24-3, and tonight's Thursday night matchup is the Kansas City Chiefs visit the San Diego Chargers.
Woo. I tell you, what a week, what a week, what a week.
Boy, I'm dizzy looking at that football test. Wow.
You know what? Not just that, with the scores that came out this week and the different things and the different races that are coming around. One thing that's good about the Steelers are 4-3, and with the Steelers being 4-3, one more win and one more Baltimore loss, Pittsburgh, I don't know if anybody realized it, can be tied for number one's position in the AFC North. Unbelievable.
It's very believable, Tiz. I know you're saying unbelievable because you feel it's unbelievable. But it is very believable, like I said before we played the Cincinnati Bengals, that this is our opportunity to take the division. We're working on the offense. We're trying to stay healthy. We're playing musical chairs with the running backs. But you know what, Big Tiz? I said it. The fans are out there. You're saying it. This can be done. And we got a lot of Steelers news updates coming to you right now from www.SteelerNationLive.net. Call us up, folks, 1-724-444-7444. We're waiting for your calls. Light up these boards. Ask us questions. Tell us what you think. I know it's an off night, and perhaps everybody doesn't know what's going on. We tried to get the word out, but this hurricane, hopefully everybody who's listening, their house is intact, their families are intact, they have enough water supplies, but the show must go on, Big Tiz. And If you can't listen to it live tonight, you're going to be very pleased when you watch the recorded version, because tonight is the night. Don't want to jinx us, Big Tiz, but everything's going well. So, some Steeler news and updates. Let's get back with the hurricane and the game against the Giants. First of all, I don't want to forget this. This just came out today. The Steelers, who usually, and any NFL team on a away game, usually spends the night before they play the game. But it's not going to happen this weekend in Jersey, and I'll tell you why. The hotel, the Westin, that they were scheduled to stay in, still has no power and probably won't have any power this weekend. So instead of the Steelers trying to find another hotel and taking up room, because they need a lot of rooms for the football team, for staff and everything, they've elected not to choose a hotel because they didn't want to leave people who were homeless because of the hurricane. They didn't want them to have to leave the hotel for them to come in, which I think is admirable. You know, they're not selfish. There's a lot of people in Jersey, in New York City, Long Island area, who are without power. They can't go back to their homes because of the flooding. So this is just one little way that the Steelers are saying to the fans, look, we care.
Yeah.
And so they're going to wait and fly in Sunday morning. Thank goodness it's a 4 o'clock game. But anyways, I think the Steelers would have done that anyways.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Pittsburgh is a class organization, like I said, and we said in prior broadcasts that the Steelers are all about family, and this is another proof of it. You know, they know that these are individuals that are in need, and the Steelers are doing the things they can to help these individuals. And big ups to the Steelers and the organization as well as a whole. This is an organization. That's why I said that's why we're all still a nation, and that's why you guys are here, and that's why we're here, because, you know, like I said, that's what we are. We're about love and the nation, and that's what Still a Nation is.
That's right, and that's why we're wearing our throwback jerseys that we wore against the Redskins. And just a little side note on this is, a lot of people wondered why would we choose, or why would the Steelers choose to wear the uniforms against the Redskins, and I'll tell you, it's very simple. 80 years ago, or back in 1933-34, when the Steelers played, they were 2-10 that season when they wore these jerseys.
Right.
The 2 victories were against the Redskins. Just a little side note. Check it out, trivia folks, if you want to. That's it. The 2 games they won, they were 2-10, were against the Redskins. But getting back to the Cincinnati Bengal game, if you're watching it late in the game, where the Steelers were driving down, they had a 7-point lead, 3 timeouts left. One play, Ben seemed to have been injured. Got up really slow. And this was going on. The clock still tick, 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 tick. Ben gets up, and what happens? You look over, Emmanuel Sanders is on the ground. What happened?
Right.
Everybody's like, what's going on? He grabs his leg. Referees, obviously, there's an injured player. Stops play. They come out. They get him. And what I didn't like about this, it didn't look right. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Watching the play, it looked like somebody shot him. He just hit the ground.
Right.
It happens. And what I'm not happy with is the play calling from Chris Collinsworth, ex-Bengal, and his sidekick, Al Michaels.
Yeah, Chris Collinsworth, anyway, to me, he's a big Bengals fan. And don't get me wrong, he supports his team. He played for them for years. But he makes no bones about it on TV that he loves them.
Yeah, and the fact that got me upset was that they point blank said that Sanders hit the ground and he was faking it. So the Steelers didn't have to call timeout. That is not good. That's not good broadcasting. You're supposed to have some kind of bias attitude.
Exactly.
And it didn't, I'm going to be honest with you, Tiz, it didn't look right, but you know what? He's on the sideline. The doctors are with him. They're giving him fluids. They're massaging his calf. He comes back into the game, and they didn't have to blow a timeout. Well, you know what, folks? They had 3 timeouts left. It was late in the game. They really didn't need them. So to accuse somebody of faking this injury, that's ridiculous. However, because of this, Sanders has to take a trip to the NFL office, and he has to explain himself to Roger Goodell. And, hopefully this will all go away. But you know what?
Wow, could you imagine that? He's going there being accused of flopping like the NBA.
Oh, jeez. But you know what, Big Tiz? I really honestly believe that this would not have been a matter of anything had not Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels say, you know what, I think he's faking it. Look at him, and they're making a joke of it. But enough said about that. He wasn't faking it. He was hurt. So grow up, folks. Let's move on with this. The next story, we all know who this guy is. A couple weeks ago, Alameda Taumau was arrested. A Pittsburgh Steeler was arrested. Now, we usually make jokes of other teams. I think we jinxed ourselves.
Yeah.
And
Cowboys is one of them.
It sucks when it hits home. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. That's Des Bryant. If you're not watching, I put up another picture of Des Bryant. But anyways, for those folks at home don't know what happened a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was October 14th. Alameda Taumau was arrested in Southside Pittsburgh a night of drinking. He was out carousing. Shouldn't have been driving. If you want to drink, go ahead. Don't drive. If you want to drive, don't drink. We put this message out to everybody. You got to be safe, people. Not only for you, but the other people on the road. Inexcusable. And to make the story short, long story short, 3 felony charges, 10 misdemeanor charges.
Wow.
Almost ran down 3 police officers. A lot of damage to other vehicles, the parked cars that he hit. One car actually had some people in it. They were hurt. When his car finally became disabled, he tried to flee from the police. It was ugly. And he was suspended for 2 games, but you know what? This is a shock to me. He was reinstated by the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, which I'm totally shocked about.
Yeah, I am too, because Pittsburgh, their organization isn't really about all that. I mean, and as you can see from one of the departed who left Pittsburgh already, San Antonio Holmes, which, to be honest, I still love the guy, but San Antonio Holmes was actually from, having weed possession type thing. So, this right here is something else.
And the thing that really doesn't make me too happy, because he came back, Steelers had till yesterday 4 o'clock to either cut him or keep him. They kept him, but they had to release Damon Cromartie-Smith, a safety that we really desperately need. We don't need a nose tackle right now. Casey Hampton's been playing fantastic. McClendon's been playing awesome too. Anybody could pretty much play that position, and I'm very unhappy with this decision. Granted, the Steelers put a lot of money and time and effort into drafting this young man, but you know what? There's a laundry list of things that went wrong with this kid, and so I don't know.
Well, hopefully this will teach him a lesson. But you know what? Hey, he's a part of the Steeler family, so we're going to try to help him. But you know what, guys? We're going to go step out to commercial, make some money. But we want to tell you guys that when we come back, we're going to come back with Johnny B's Fantasy, and we're going to also give you some more game stats of the Redskin game.
Sounds good. We'll see you in a minute.
SteelerNationLive.net. It's live. Join Big O, Big T every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. New York's only in-depth analysis of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Black and gold. Game review. Injury report. Injury releases. Who got fired? Fantasy stats. Rumor. Anything and everything you want to know about the black and gold. SteelerNationLive.net.
Uniform Express, located on 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York, for your police, fire, or EMS supplies. One of Rochester's top and finest suppliers of shirts, pants, shoes, boots, and accessories for your professional uniform needs. Uniform Express also does embroidery and screen print for team uniforms, jerseys, and corporations. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go to their website at www.uniformexpress.com or call Brian at 585-529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. And let Brian know you heard his ad on our show, Steeler Nation Live. Welcome back, everyone. Steeler Nation Live here in Rochester, New York. www.steelernationlive.net, 1-724-444-7444. And what you want to do when you get there, you want to press 115243 and the pound. It's a special code to get in. And then when you do that, follow the instructions, press 1 and pound for guest, and you're on talking to Big O and Big Tiz here in Rochester.
That's right. Hey, we want to step to the next episode of our show, which I think we're getting them on the line now, and it's going to be Johnny B's Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny's been doing a lot here with us, and we appreciate Johnny and the things that he does here for Steeler Nation Live, giving us hands out, trying to get you guys on board about what's going on. So we're going to let Big O start off with Johnny B, because I think he is online. So
Johnny B, we don't know where you're at right now, but hope everything's fine with you. We know all the airports are closing in, so you might not be back in the East Coast yet. We're gonna start off a bunch of things here, Johnny, but we all know you're a Seahawks fan. Let us know how you feel with that loss to the Lions last week. How you feeling there, buddy?
The Seahawks walked into a buzzsaw that game. There was a lot of haters on Stafford, but the guy came through. He had 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Lions at home, the Seahawks they had a tough time. They hung in there, but Stafford, he was due for a big game, and he had it. And that young kid, Titus Young, he was in there for Nate Burleson. He looked great. Stafford hit 7 different receivers. They just had a tremendous game, and the Seahawks hung in there, but it wasn't good enough.
All right, Johnny B. We're sorry about the Seahawks there. Hey, if you can hear us, let's get this show. We don't have a lot of time tonight, so we're just going to blow through things. And the first thing I'm going to ask you, a bunch of studs out there. Okay, studs. Who would you say would be the studs? Just a couple. We know you got a lot out there.
Johnny B, are you there? Are you there, Johnny?
Johnny, hello.
Studs this week.
There you go.
I love Ryan Matthews. Chargers at the Chiefs. I think Ryan Matthews gets his points per reception. He gets his rushing yards, his receiving yards. I think he looks fantastic. I also got a glimpse of that Alfred Morris for the Skins. I think that game against the Panthers is going to be a shootout, so Alfred Morris is going to get his. I like Vincent Jackson as the Bucs go to the Vincent, the old Charger that he was, catches a couple touchdowns and looks fantastic. And a blast from the past, we're going to see a Darren Sproles sighting as another shootout that I like, the Eagles at the Saints.
All right, Johnny B, that's fantastic with the studs. We all know if there's studs, there's going to be duds. So give us a couple of your duds for this
duds
week.
of the week. I think Jamal Charles is just having a rugged year this year, and Romeo Crennel is just keeping him away from getting the ball like he used to. I think Jamal Charles has a down game against the Chargers. Another guy that's having a rough time is Kenny Britt. Hasselbeck just doesn't seem to get the ball to him as much as he'd like, and it's a tough Bears defense. The last guy is Felix Jones. Oh, he's in a doghouse. A lot of fumbles, and they're playing a tough Atlanta Falcon defense.
All right, Johnny, that's good. All right, well, we want to end this show with we all know we have some sleepers. You call them flyers. I don't know why you call them flyers, but sleepers, flyers, whatever you want. The guys who are desperate, who you might need for your team this week because of buys. What do you got for us on the sleepers?
All right, we got some flyers, some bye-week fills. A guy I like is James Jones to pick it up. We know we got Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson are a little banged up, so James Jones is going to see the field a little bit more. He's also seen a lot of targets from big Aaron Rodgers. The Cards, they're trying to bounce back after a rough game this past week, but I think James Jones gets his in this game. Another guy is the guy we brought up earlier against the Seahawks, Titus Young. He's getting more looks with Nate Burleson. Look, he's going to be targeted 15 to 17 times. He's going to get his. Danny Amendola of the Rams.
Well, Johnny B., we want to thank you and hope wherever you are right now you're safe. I guess you got rid of that cricket phone, so you're coming in crystal clear. Johnny, we want to thank you very much for calling in, taking time away from us. Hope you have a nice hotel or wherever you're going, and we hope to hear from you next week. And Big Tiz, what do you think about the picks that he's thrown out at us?
Well, like I said, Johnny, some of the picks he does and the picks he throws out are phenomenal. I mean, this guy's helped me win quite a few games. And I know you guys out there, you're always looking for somebody to get in there like sleepers, and he calls them flyers. You're trying to get these guys in there, and these are the guys, especially with a lot of guys in there right now with injuries. So these are guys, the main guys are starting to go down, so you're going to have to get these flyer types to get in there and get you points.
Right, Big Tiz. And that leads up to our next segment of the show, our stats. The Redskins, the team we beat last week. And you know what, Big Tiz? It's what we talked about, and I love repeating myself. Not that I like hearing myself, speak, as contrary to what some people believe. But we talked about this before the Bengals game. We talked about it before the Redskins game. This is what the Steelers have to do to win. And you know what? I'm no guru, I'm no genie, but you know what? It's basic football knowledge. The team that you're going to play against, you find their strengths, and you have to take care of them.
Right.
We talked about it last week. How are we going to detain or contain RG3? This guy has been running circles around defenses. And then that leads up to what the people are saying about the Steelers' defense. Old and slow. There's no way we can stop RG3. There's no way we can stop the game of the Redskins. And not to mention the wide receivers, Moss, Santana Moss, and all the receiving core for the Redskins, that there's going to be no way. But, there was a way, Big Tiz.
Oh, yeah,
and
we found it.
And you look at the scoreboard, and let's get to the stats. Let's talk about the Redskins stats first of all. Now, RG3. 16 for 34 for 177 yards, 1 TD. Does that sound like RG3 ball? But that's not the big news. The big news is 6 carries, Big Tiz, 8 yards for RG3.
Wow.
6 carries, 8 yards, RG3. The math does not add up. And here's another stat that a lot of people probably don't know, is that Dick LeBeau, coming into this game, his defenses were 14-1 against rookie quarterbacks.
Wow.
Is that a surprise?
Like I said, Dick LeBeau, he's been doing it for a long time. This guy's seen just about every defense he put out there. And that's the thing about Dick LeBeau. I believe this guy, if he was let go by Pittsburgh tomorrow, this guy will be already sought after. A big commodity sought after. And think about this guy. This is a guy going on 80 years old, possibly.
He's 75, actually, Big Tiz. He had a birthday not too long ago. Now he's 15-1 against rookie quarterbacks. What is it? Is it his style of play? Is it that these rookie quarterbacks listen to the talk old and slow? But, however, and Morris didn't have a day either. 13 carries, 59 yards for Morris. In the receiving core, 5 catches for Morgan for 46 yards. And we all know that Moss had that 7-yard touchdown on 4th and 2, which, I wasn't happy about that. But well, what are you going to do? The Steelers are already up, and let's get to the Steelers stats now. Total yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers are 355 yards. Penalties, 3 penalties, Big Tiz. If you want, I could go back and check out the stats. The last couple games, we've had an average of 4 penalties a game.
Wow.
That's down from 9.5 that we started out. And
penalties
you know
killed us in a lot of games. The Raiders games was one of the big penalties killed us. Even on kick returns.
Do the math, Big Tiz. Do the math. I mean, look at the games that we lost.
Mm-hmm.
How many penalties?
Oh, 9 maybe. An average of 9.
Average.
9, 10.
More than 10.
Right.
And look at the games that we won. Let's do that. Let's go back just the Bengals and the Redskins. 2 games, we had a total of 6 penalties in 2 games.
Exactly.
And we won both of them. Okay. Jonathan Dwyer. Oh, the merry-go-round continues in the backfield. Just when you think it's safe to go in the backfield, Big Tiz, I think we need a bigger boat. But anyways, Dwyer, 2 games, back-to-back, 100-yard carries. Folks, we'll get into this in the injury report. Don't expect to see Dwyer this Sunday in the Meadowlands. He's out with a quad injury. So what's going on with the Steelers in the backfield? I'll talk to you about that in the injury report. But you know what? It's good news, bad news kind of deal. But Roethlisberger, this guy is an animal. All right? 24 for 33, 222 yards. It's all right, not too bad. But the big stats are 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. All right? Getting back to the couple games we lost. We had interceptions. We weren't doing so good. The games we won, no interceptions. We also said Dwyer, 107 on the ground, 17 carries. People are calling him the mini bus. I don't see it. Mike Wallace had an average day, 7 receptions for 62 yards. Heath Miller, I mean, where would we be without Heath Miller?
Exactly.
Where would we be?
It's another guy out there for you fantasy guys. Heath Miller should get a lot of work in New York.
4 receptions, 46 yards, 1 TD, and the defense 1 sack. And our offensive line only gave up 1 sack to the Redskins.
Beautiful. I am just elated just seeing what our offensive line is doing. If you're a Steelers fan and you know the woes we've been going through for maybe a year or more, right now, if you look at it now, you're thinking of epic blocking. I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, it's great. And you know what? I forgot to mention this, but if you're watching the game, this is big. And big by nothing went wrong per se, but when you have your punt returner, you can't actually see it, but he's going backwards.
Right.
We had some video footage of him actually doing it, but for some reason the feed we got is going like 100 miles an hour, so it looks like a Charlie Chaplin movie. But anyways, if we all saw the game, he's running, he's in the open, he turns around to 30 and starts backpedaling. 20 yards into Antonio Brown in the end zone. And you know what? We all know that we don't showboat in Pittsburgh. And the thing about that is Mike Tomlin was not a happy camper. And we all know that Mike Tomlin is a great coach. And why is he a great coach, Big Tiz? Is because he's a player's coach.
Exactly.
He gets down to your level. He's not scared to yell at you, but he's not scared to give you, the praise that you deserve, man to man, instead of coach to player. Now there's a fine line that is drawn when you have a coach like that, and it should be. Mike Tomlin addressed Brown about this.
Right.
Not only did he do it to him, he did it to the whole team, in front of the whole team. Because you win as a team, you lose as a team, you get scolded as a team, and this should not happen. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there was some in-house, some kind of fine for this behavior. And we all know that the touchdown that he apparently scored was called back because of a penalty. And this is one thing that's been killing us all season. It's the penalties on the kick returns and the punt returns. We should be 6-1 right now.
Right.
6-1 right now.
Well, you know what? And the thing about that is the fact that when Antonio Brown was running that punt back, the fact that I can't remember if it was a punt or kickoff return, but when he was running it back, the fact that when he turned, I thought to myself, what is this guy doing? Because just from the showboating and things like that, granted there was a penalty on that play, but he could have cost us a touchdown. And what if that was late in the game? He could have cost us a game. I mean, come on. These type of things, if you're going to get in the end zone and you do your little flips or whatever you want to do, hey, I'm all down for that. You know what? Granted, it's a penalty, but as long as it doesn't cost us, I'm down for it.
And get there, too.
Exactly.
Get there. You don't want to, boy, I was yelling at the TV when I saw that. What are you doing? And, you know, it just, right now at this point of the season, we need everything. And the Redskins weren't gonna lie down after that.
Right.
You know what? This is the Steeler team who rarely during this season has finished a game.
Exactly.
Who has not played 60 full minutes. You have to score every quarter. Doesn't matter if you're winning by a little. You don't want to blow somebody out. But you know what? You want to make sure that you win. You got to play to win, not play to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Hello, you play to win the game. You play to win the game, gentlemen. We all know who said that. But, hey, Big Tiz, I think it's time to pay some bills. What do you think?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Hey, when we come back, guys, we're going to touch base on some of the injury reports in the league. And, well, for Pittsburgh, I should say. And there's quite a few right now, and there's quite a few that could cost us later on in the season. But we'll find out about that on Steeler Nation Live when we come back from commercial.
Located at 2246 East River Road. A perfect blend of Irish charm and Italian cuisine. From Calabria favorites like calamari to chicken French to the new signature dish like the Steel City Deli.
The Rockless Burger.
Everything is delicious and prepared fresh for you. They offer a full lineup of your favorite beverages, the drink specials daily, and don't forget their $5 Monster Bomb.
Ice cold beer.
All day, every day. With 2 floors of seating and 20 high-def televisions, there's not a bad seat in the house to catch every minute of the NFL action.
Watch what you want.
McGinnis is the official home of the Rochester Steelers fan club.
Steelers!
So come on down to McGinnis Sports Pub, 2246 East River Road in Henrietta.
At Grease Lightning, we offer fast automotive service, specializing in oil changes and auto repairs. We offer convenient yet comprehensive maintenance and repair service, fast and no appointment necessary. At Grease Lightning, we offer the best prices on top name brands. We get you in, out, and on your way, just like Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning is locally owned and operated, so come on down to 2061 Chiley Avenue here in Rochester and talk to Charles because he's in charge. You can also call Charles at 585-563-7939 or go to our website at mygreaselightning.com. Welcome back, everybody, to SteelNationLive.net, www.SteelNationLive.net. Call us, 1-724-444-7444. Message us, call us, let us know what's going on. Big Tiz.
Hey, guys, we're going to jump right into the injury report and what's going on in Pittsburgh. A lot of injuries and a lot of injuries that might cause some havoc, especially in our backfield.
Like I said earlier, Big Tiz, the merry-go-round goes round in the backfield. Unfortunately, folks, we mentioned earlier today, Jonathan Dwyer had 2 back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, but unfortunately he may not be there this Sunday in the Meadowlands, and he's out with a quad injury. He missed practice yesterday. He missed practice today. That's 3 days after rushing 2 games.
Exactly.
2 games for over 100 yards. Isaac Redman, he practiced ankle, fully practiced yesterday. He practiced today. So don't be surprised if you see number 33 in the backfield on Sunday. Richard Mendenhall and Baron Batch practiced on a limited basis yesterday and today. All reports coming out that Mendenhall may get the start. Dwyer tweeted that he believes that if he does not play, that Mendenhall should start. Well, you know, Isaac Redman, Mendenhall in the backfield, that's a great 1-2 punch. Also missing practice was Gilbert Palomalu. You know, we won't see him to probably Christmas. Sylvester and Woodley still nursing that hamstring. And here's the big blow. Brian Clark. He left the game against the Redskins. Concussion. He was concussed. He had a concussion, but you know what, folks? He's a fighter. Guess what? Full practice. We're just We're just waiting for him to be cleared by the NFL because we talked about this earlier, one of our previous shows, that there's a lot of things, a lot of tests that you have to go through if you're concussed. If you had it wasn't a head injury or neck injury, this was a full concussion. Okay, this was disclosed to the NFL, to everybody. Unlike the Ravens, when Reed went down with his torn labrum, when he got hurt, you remember him?
Oh, yes.
You remember anybody mentioning that he got hurt? No, that's something the NFL frowns upon. If you have a player, you have to disclose the injury. And like I said, he's ready to play, unlike the other safety, Troy, whatever his name is. I forget what does he look like?
I know he's got long hair.
It's pretty beautiful flowing hair. Oh, that's right. I saw him on the Head & Shoulders commercial. Yes, I remember him. He does commercials. Love the guy. How can you not love this guy? So, hot topic, Big Tiz. We talked about it earlier. We talked about it on shows. And I think this is really, we're not beating a dead horse, but after this penalty was called on DeAngelo Hall, I really feel that the NFL needs to step up and start fining, suspending, kicking people out of the game because you can't do this to officials. Big Tiz, what do you think?
Well, that's a lot of the things. I mean, I don't know if these guys are getting it mixed up with baseball or what's going on, but the abuse on the refs has been pretty rough, especially this situation with DeAngelo Hall, to where, I mean, basically he looked like he was getting ready to attack this ref. I mean, physically. And then when you do that physically in a game, come on, what tone are you setting? You got young kids that are looking up to you and they watch this game and they want to emulate you guys. And when they see you guys out there going at refs, trying to attack refs, or basically if this game would have happened where he would have actually hit this ref or punched him, the reverberations from this would have been fought for forever. You know what I mean? Just in the NFL.
That's true. And so far, I checked up till showtime. Nothing has been done yet as far as fines, suspensions. But you know what? This is the time for the NFL to set the tone. Now, DeAngelo Hall, like I said, he's a respected cornerback because he's a great football player. Other than that, I think he has some emotional issues. He has some anger issues. And, you know, we don't want to take away from his play. He's a great player. I would want him on my team, but you know what? He's got to grow up. And this kind of play, you can't do it. It's if the referee makes a bad call, and we all know they're human. We like to say that in defense, that they do make mistakes. Are we happy about it? No. And the BS that came out of his mouth afterwards to try and defend himself, look, buddy, own up. Be a man. You know what I'm saying? You're in the wrong. There's no question about it. I don't care camera angles. I don't care what the referee was saying. As a grown man, do you think for 2 seconds if somebody was saying the stuff to you that you were saying to him that you might say something back in defense?
Exactly.
But this is the time, Big Tiz, where the NFL has to look at this and say, what's the next level? The words that he was saying, the threatening demeanor that he was coming at him. What's next? What are we waiting for? An official to actually get punched in the face? Or what about the referee locally? Not too long ago in Rochester, local area semi-pro football team referee was attacked and bludgeoned by a player who beat him senseless with his football helmet. Wow. Now, I said semi-pro, okay? I don't know what you want to call it. It wasn't high school, it wasn't college, so we got to throw that semi-pro out there. So after the game was over. The referee was making some bad calls. I'm not going to, whatever. And he attacked the referee and a bunch of times hit him over the head with a helmet. Is this what the NFL is getting up to?
Yeah, that right there, there's no call for it. And they have to address this with the fines and game suspensions. I mean, this guy was out of control, and he did this on national TV. And even if he did say the ref said something, then you know what? Take it up with the league and let them know what's going on. So, and then get players behind you to back you on your situation, and then go from there. But you made it look like you were the aggressor on this situation.
Oh, and like I said earlier, Big Tiz, and his defense, everybody's got there's three sides to every story: his, theirs, and the true story. So he's talking camera angles. You can't see what he's saying. Blah blah blah. You know what? You lost my respect when you started walking towards him, pointing fingers, dropping F-bombs. So, but I don't want to hear it. And if the NFL does not lay heavy fine on this guy, I don't know what's next. I think they're gonna have to wait for somebody to actually get assaulted for somebody in the NFL to make some kind of decision.
Exactly. And it's sad. That's what it's coming down to. But that's what it is. It's coming down to.
Yeah.
You know what? So if you guys want to text in or phone in, like Big O said, 724-444-7444. Caller ID number 115243. Hit the pound key. And most important, if you're a guest, hit 1 in pound. You're in. You can talk to Big Tiz and Big O. And like I said, we want to get your feedback. And also, when you go to the website, leave comments so that way we'll know what you guys want to see in the show, what you guys want to hear in the show, and we'll make sure to give shout-outs to you guys. And that's one thing, actually, we wanted to start addressing in our shows. We want to give shout-out to you guys who are leaving comments and doing things on our show, because we definitely have a lot of them.
Absolutely. Say you have a son or daughter who is one of the biggest Steelers fans ever, and they want to hear their name on the computer, on the TV, on the radio. Give us an email. Email me, bigo1933steelers@yahoo.com. Big Tiz at yahoo.com, Big Tiz at SteelerNationLive.com, Big O at SteelerNationLive.com. We got all these email addresses. Call us up or write us an email. Let us know. Hey, Johnny's your favorite football team. His favorite player is Ben Roethlisberger, and we want to give a shout out to little Johnny. Hey, buddy, thanks for loving the Steelers, whatever. And just to put a smile on a kid's face, it's all about Steeler families.
Exactly.
Mom and Dad, Steeler fans all their lives, their 50th wedding anniversary or whatever. You want to give a shout out to Sam and Martha from Boise, Idaho. Their 50th whatever, any special occasion that you want. We want to put it out to you. We want you, the fans, to know that we care not only about the Steelers, but Steeler Nation, our family, our new family.
Hey guys, you know what? We're going to keep the show rolling, and next we want to go to our game day versus the Giants. Our thoughts and some things that we think the Steelers need to do to win out in this game against the Giants. It's going to be a very important, pivotal game because the Steelers have to keep winning to keep pace with the Ravens.
That's right. As long as they keep losing, we keep winning. Hey, that's a recipe for success, folks. And I'm not a baker. Hey, check this out. Once again, on paper, if you look at this matchup on paper, there's pretty much no way the Steelers are going to win.
Exactly.
But you know what? They don't play on paper, folks. They play on the field, and any given Sunday, anything could happen. And just to give you a little update, we're going to face a Giants team, Big Tiz, that is coming off a very shaky performance against the Cowboys. The Giants are going to have to perform better than they did to beat the Steelers right now.
Exactly.
Okay?
The Steelers, they're not the same team they were maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
No,
the Steelers are a team that's actually sitting out there blocking and making holes for running backs. And to be honest, right now, these are running backs that are not at that upper level right now, to be honest. And don't get me wrong, I love Dwyer, and I think he does have some power and he got that mini buck thing going. But if this is going to be our new back of the future, he's just really starting out. And these guys are opening the holes for this guy.
Yeah, and the injuries, they don't help either. We talked about this many shows, Big Tiz, that the injuries that we're having right now is not good looking forward. And we have to look forward because that's what we have to do if we want to keep on winning. And what we've been doing lately, we've been one-sided, all offense, passing, and the defense has been struggling, stupid penalties, just miscues and just mental problems that these holding penalties, the calling back the touchdowns, they don't help. But the key that we're going to need is to stop the rushing attack of Bradshaw. If we get a Bradshaw, contained in the backfield, that's great. That the new tight end Bennett they have,
right?
Not worried about him at all. He had one good game. Was it a fluke? Possibly. Like Ogletree from the Cowboys, that one great game he had
against the Giants. Yep.
Yeah, I picked him up fantasy. And who is this kid? But anyways, all right, we have to put pressure on Eli Manning. and everybody's like, oh, defense is old and slow. The Redskins are gonna kill you. RG3's gonna run for hundreds of yards. He's gonna pass for hundreds of yards. Blah 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 blah. But you know what, folks? On paper, maybe. And look what happened. When you could contain and detain RG3, this kid is awesome. You know, folks, we all know, if you're a football fan, this kid is fantastic. However, 6 carries, 8 yards, and held him to 177 yards passing and 1 touchdown. Please, folks, we can do it. We did it against the Bengals. This is the game plan we had. We did it against the Redskins. This is the game plan we had. And this is what we're going to take into the Meadowlands. The reason why we want to stop the rushing attack, first off, is because you have to establish the run to set up the pass. Now, we did a bunch of play-action passes during the Redskins game that gave us 2 touchdowns.
Exactly.
Johnson, the second touchdown, he was slotted 2 tight ends right, power right, and play-action fake, wide open. Leonard Pope finally got his first touchdown as the Pittsburgh Steelers put their hands together for Leonard Pope. Yeah! All right, and that kid was happy when he scored that touchdown. He looked like a rookie. You know, he's a seasoned veteran. This is what we have to do. And this is why we're winning games. You set up the run for the pass. And not only that, it's great for play action. And other teams have been doing to us all year, scoring touchdowns. This is what we have to do, and this is what we've been doing. Okay? The Steelers, it comes down to defense. We all know Ben can throw the ball. We all know the offense is starting to come around and block. And we have all the merry-go-round of running backs. We don't know who's going to be in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who's going to be running the ball. But when they do, they're running the ball well. Why? Because the offensive line is blocking instead of holding. This is what we need. And this is what we've been getting. And this, folks, is why we are winning games.
Woo! Big O is out there. He is on fire. Let him get some water. But you know what? I think a lot of things, and I'm going to echo what Big O just said. A lot of it is that the blocking has to be there against the Giants because the Giants do have that formidable front. And that front comes hard. But the main thing, you know how you control the front? You throw quick and short passes.
Ooh.
These quick and short passes. That's why I said Heath Miller and Pope and the fullbacks, these guys, when they go out and they catch short patterns, this is going to have to force the Giants to drop off in that blitz coverage, and they're going to have to cover these guys coming out on these short passes. Because once you get four on the first down pass, 5 on the next pass, then you can go to your run game or whatever. Just do things just like that to make the game go along, and that's how you control the clock. And the Steelers are about controlling the clock. And if everything else opens up with them dropping the linebackers back and things like that to stop crowding the line of scrimmage, I tell you, those holes in that line will be wide open. And whoever the running back is, it could be me or it could be Big O. You know, we might get 12 yards for the whole game, but look at it. It'll be first downs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hello, you play to win the game. I love this. You play to win the game. And another thing, folks, this is going to be a huge test for the O-line. We're kind of healthy. We're doing our job. And with the run stopping game that these Giants have, these New York Football Giants, and the rushing attack that they have, it's going to be a big test. It's going to be a great test for our O-line. And this is where, you know, the men come up and be men. You got to block these guys. You can't hold them. And hopefully this won't be the case, that our O-line will take care of their D-line. I'm pretty sure they can.
Exactly. Well, Big O, let me ask you this. What are you looking for as to being a final score in this game, Pittsburgh at the Giants?
Well, I haven't been too far off the last couple of games, but I say the Steelers are going to win this, and a close one, 2017. I predict Steelers will win this.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Pittsburgh wins 24-14. And
Really?
I'm hoping that last touchdown the Giants scored is maybe late in the game where the Pittsburgh has things in hand. So that's what I'm hoping for. And in defense, please do one good thing for us here at Steeler Nation Live. Step up, play 60 minutes. That's
60
all we're
minutes.
asking.
And this is another thing that I would like to touch base on. We need to get more sacks. We need to force more fumbles. We need to create more interceptions. The defense has to step up. But you know what? Baby steps. We're doing great. We're doing what we have to do to win, but you know what, Big Tiz? We have to do more. More on defense especially because, like I said earlier, we know the offense can do it even with the merry-go-round of running backs. Whoever's in the backfield, like you said, you, me, don't matter. With that O-line doing what they're doing right now, we need the defense to step up, pressure, force turnovers, and this is how we're going to win games. And let me give you a little prediction, okay? Giants tie the game late with a touchdown. Give Ben too much time on the clock. We march down the field. Swisham kicks the game-winning field goal with no time on the clock. Folks, refer back to this show, and you're going to see. I hope it doesn't lead to that. I hope it's a blowout. But I'm feeling this is going to be a tight, fought match in the trenches. Giants tied up late in the game. Ben marches the guys down and Swisham, I'd say 47-yard field goal. Time expires, game over, Steelers win.
Hey, guys, you know what? We're almost to the end of our show. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back from the commercial, we're going to give you guys our final thoughts of the night. And hopefully, you know, our final thoughts and what we just told you earlier will come to fruition. But we'll see here after the commercial on Steeler Nation Live.
Look no further than Supreme Limousine. For any special occasion or need, Supreme Limousine will be there for you. Weddings, proms, wine tours, sporting events, bachelor and bachelorette parties, just to name a few. At Supreme Limo, they know how difficult planning a big event can be, so leave your worries behind because Supreme Limousine will give you peace of mind. Call Rich at 585-425-3711 and set up your special event today. Serving New York and parts of Canada for many years and through all of New York's worst weather, you will get to where you're going on time and safe. When you need a ride, Supreme Limousine is on your side. So call Rich at 585-425-3711. And at Supreme Limousine, you get supreme service, not a supreme price. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, look no further than Dan Powell. Dan knows that buying or selling a home is one of the most important things you will ever do. Dan wants to make that experience as smooth and successful as possible. Dan's extensive expertise in the real estate market will benefit you whether you're looking to buy or sell a home. Once Dan knows what you want, he will work tirelessly to find the right home for you because no one should compromise when it comes to such a huge purchase. Whether you're looking for homes for sale, moving resources, or even mortgage information, everything you need is right here with Dan. Dan will always be available for personal service by phone or email, so feel free to contact him with questions at any time. So when buying or selling a home, don't get frustrated or throw in the towel. Just call Dan Powell at 585-704-8324. That's 585-704-8324, or email Dan at dan@rochhomefinder.com. That's Dan at ROCHOMEFINDER.com.
Honey, I just found a great new place to take us out to eat for breakfast. Critics Restaurant, 906 West Main Street, Rochester, New York. Critics is the ultimate in family breakfast dining. And if you're a Steeler fan, hey, you found the right place, Critics Restaurant. Critics Restaurant has been a neighborhood fixture in Rochester, New York for over 40 years. Good food, good fun. Critics Restaurant, 906 West Main Street. Come check us out.
Hey, welcome back to Steel Nation. Hey, Big Tiz, what's going on?
Hey, baby, another show that we put out here. We're doing it for you guys. And like I said, we're close to the end of the show, but we want to give you our final thoughts here on Steel Nation Live. So I'm going to let Big O start off with his final thoughts for this week's game against the New York Giants.
I appreciate that, Big Tiz. You know what, folks? The offense is finally coming around. Is it because they are, or is it because they're not hurt? Blocking is everything. Blocking for your running backs, blocking for your quarterbacks, letting your receivers get open, that's huge. Like I discussed earlier, Big Tiz, more play action. And how can you do the play action? Well, you have to be able to run the ball, and you know that's what I live by, Big Tiz. Run the ball to set up the pass. Because if your pass to set up the run and the pass fails, guess what, folks? What do you think you're gonna be doing? You're gonna be running the ball. You're gonna stuff the box. You'll get nowhere.
Exactly.
Then you go back to passing to nobody. Getting the tight ends more involved. Lining Johnson up with Pope on that power right side. Heath Miller, he's fantastic. One of the best tight ends this season or in the NFL. And just a sidebar on Heath Miller, he surpassed Plaxico Burress with yardage. I can't remember what the actual were, but it was a lot of yards. And his last catch in the end zone, he surpassed Plaxico Burress. We want to give a shout out to Heath Miller for a great job out there, buddy. We love you.
All right, Heath.
No huddle offense is working. Okay, if you watch the game against Cincy, we did it a little. Against the Redskins, we did it a lot. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things that are winning ball games. Okay, folks? I love this new dink and dunk thing. I don't know who came up with that terminology, but apparently that Todd Haley and Roethlisberger, they love people calling it dink and dunk. That, folks, is that short screen passes to the wide receivers. Steelers been doing it all season. The reason why it's working now is because we're establishing the run.
Exactly.
You establish a run, the world is the oyster. The defense is starting to come up and apply some pressure now. It's great that Harrison is back. We have a bunch of people just like the merry-go-round in the backfield. We have the merry-go-round with the linebackers. We got Worlds going down. We got Carter going down. We got Woodley going down. And it's just, we don't even know who's coming in, who's going out, who's getting hurt. But whoever's replacing who's ever hurt, they're stepping up and it's starting to gel. Now, I've talked about this before in the past, Big Tiz. Just imagine if we had an actual healthy Steeler team, we wouldn't be talking about these losses. We'd be talking about being undefeated like those Atlanta Falcons down there, down in the South.
Right.
7-0. Are you kidding me? Come up to Pittsburgh. Let's see how your undefeated record goes down. But anyways, old and slow, not anymore. We need, if they were turning the ball over and getting more sacks, you would never hear this. All right, we need more sacks and turnovers. We need to play 60 minutes and play to win, not play to not lose, if that makes any sense, Big Tiz. And we do all these things, we're going to put up another W on the left side. You know what I'm saying? In the win column. Big Tiz, preach to me.
Hey, like I said, tonight, guys, I just want to let all the Steelers know the Steelers are starting to round the form. I mean, you can see it, and you can see it in the way they played. You can see it in some of the swagger that they're starting to get. And one of the things that I'm real impressed about right now is Ben Roethlisberger is still studying the ship. And right now, I hope he can see it as to what Haley's vision was. And his vision was to always keep Ben upright. And he's doing that with these dink and dunk type passes. And that's the thing. I mean, it's been a couple games going that I don't even think Ben has even been sacked. I'm not sure. Maybe 1, 2.
One sack last game, Big Tiz.
Exactly. And I mean, that's what I mean. That's where it's going to. And if we could keep Ben healthy, that way Ben can help the Steelers get the titles for another couple years or so. And he's getting to be an older player. And these are the things that we need from Ben. Ben, you're out there, you're trying, and you're doing it. And like I said, this is the right time for some guy like this to step in and help us get in that direction. And the other thing, the run game, the blocking is finally starting to materialize. And the blocking, they're doing their things. These guys, Willie Colon and these guys on the outside, you guys are doing your thing. And like I said, when the blocking comes, just like what Big O said, when that blocking is there, it opens up everything else. And if your blocking is well, just take it from the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, they were to the point to where it didn't matter who they had as a running back, that they were getting 100-yard games. And a lot of things were coming from that. And I also wanted to touch base on the fact of our wide receivers. Our wideouts are doing their things. They're blocking on the outside, and they're getting open. They're getting open on short passes, which is going to eventually open up to Mike Wallace, where I can see Mike Wallace having some big games going down the stretch because of the dink and dunk. And if we're keeping healthy like we're doing right now, a lot of other teams are going through injuries, and Pittsburgh look like they're starting to round the form. A lot of guys that are on injuries, they're coming back. So right now we're trying to make our push to the playoffs. And hopefully it continues. And if it continues the way that it's starting to round to right now, I can see Pittsburgh almost possibly pushing for another title.
That's why I love you, Big Tiz. You are one of the smartest men alive.
I know.
Just by listening to you, how could anybody disparage what you have to say about the Steeler offense, Steeler defense, the Steeler team in general?
Hey.
And let's not forget this guy, Big Tiz. I want to squeak this in. We didn't put him on a milk carton for a reason, because this guy, for folks of you at home and you're not watching or listening, I put up this awesome picture of David DeCastro, number 66, first round draft choice of Pittsburgh Steelers, and he is coming back. He will be back this year. I'm excited. I'm very honored to wear this jersey, number 66.
That's DeCastro. They'll be back next year, and we'll be stronger than ever. We need you, buddy. Get healthy.
That's right, folks.
Hey, guys, there's another one in the books here on Steeler Nation Live. We went a little bit over the hour. Like I said, there was a lot of things going on, a lot of things popping, and we had to make up for that storm that we had, the big storm Sandy that came through and brushed through New York and a lot of the East Coast. And as in, I don't know if you're on the audio side, you can't see the picture, but of the devastation that was caused from that and the things that happened. And so we want to let you guys know we're here to serve you here on Steeler Nation Live, and you're coming from Big Tiz.
Big O.
We'll see you guys next week on Steeler Nation Live.
Wait, before we go, Big Tiz, we got to do our show. We're not going to do our show next Tuesday because of the election. That's what we get. Maybe a new president. Maybe we keep the old president. We don't want to get political on this show, but we're not going to do the show on Tuesday, Election Day. We're going to do it next Wednesday. So if you're watching the show tonight, and I'll put on Facebook or whatever, so all you folks have a chance to see us again live next week. It will not be on Tuesday, election night, but the following Wednesday night, and we really hope you come and join us.
All right, guys. So again, Big Tiz and Big O.
Right? Yeah, we're here
on Steeler Nation Live.
With the name of the future. And with the name of the future, hey. Yeah. Shout out to Big Tiz, man. And Big O. Steeler Nation, man. Yeah. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. You know what it is, man. Steeler Nation, man. Big O. Yeah. Big O. Every night on Monday night, man. Hey. 7 to 8 on Monday night. Big O. Big Tiz. And it's a song. And it's Steeler Nation. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Steeler Nation. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Steeler Nation, man. Yeah. It's a song. Big O. Yeah, I had to say it was a song, man. Big O. You know, it is a song, man. Yeah. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O.